Murder Mindfully Episode 1 introduces us to Bjorn Daimel. According to him, he didn't have a violent streak in him until he turned 42. He narrates that his life changed right after he embraced mindfulness to help him get a work-life balance. That was 3 months ago. We circle back to 3 months ago when Daimel helped his client Murat get off with a slap on the wrist after he tried to rob a jewel store. We soon learn that Daimel works for a mafia lord, Dragan. Dragan has been the bane of Daiml's life, and not in the Bridgerton way. Being a loose cannon, Dragan has been keeping Daimel busy cleaning up his mess and making cuts for his illegal businesses. This has made Daimel a troubled man. His wife is tired of Daimel missing the important moments in their daughter's life. She suggests that Daimel tries to change for their daughter's sake. In fact, she asks him to attend a mindful program led by Joschka Breitner. In truth, Daimel knows he is a mess. His marriage is falling apart. He is working at a firm that doesn't acknowledge his hard work and he hates his job. Even the firm's secretary knows Daimel is a no one in the firm. This is why she takes great pleasure in rubbing his reality in his face. With nothing to lose and everything to gain, Daimel decides to give the mindfulness program a chance for his kid's sake. He gets an appointment to meet with Breitner but ends up 20 minutes late. At first, Daimel is uncertain if he made the right choice, but Breitner eases him into the program. In the first session, they talk about Daiml's stressors in his life. Breitner tells Daimel what mindful living is all about and why it is important. As Daimel listens, he realizes that Breitner makes valid points. All his life, Daimel has been living life rushing through the ups and downs. He has never paused to reflect. Breitner teaches him how to use his breathing to calm himself down and carve out time to reflect. By the end of the first session, Daimel feels much better and optimistic about taking control of his life. Within the next few weeks, he carved out time to spend with his kid, Emily. He also started ignoring calls during his quality time. He moved out of his house to focus on getting better, and Katharina, his wife, was happy. More than anything, she wanted the man she fell in love with back. At work, Daimel took breaks and refused to let the work issues affect him too much. Within a short time, he finishes the first step of his mindfulness journey. Breitner welcomes him to try the advanced copy and gives him his book. Later that weekend, Daimel drops by the house to pick up his daughter. Emily is excited to spend the weekend with her dad at the lake house. Katharina is worried but allows Daimel to take the kid. She gives him a list of instructions and sees them off. She makes it clear that Daimel can't bring his work, specifically the mafia, around their daughter. Unfortunately, Dragan calls while the dad and daughter duo are on their way to the lake house. The lake house belongs to Dragan and Daimel picks up the phone because he is worried Dragan changed his mind about lending them the house for the weekend. It turns out that Dragan is more concerned about a serious crisis and summons Daimel back to the office. After returning to the office, Daimel has another argument with the secretary, Ms. Bregens. This time, Daimel doesn't hold back and gives her a piece of his mind. He then leaves his daughter with one of the trainees. He takes the elevator to the secret basement of the building and meets Dragan and one of his men. It turns out Dragan killed a man in broad daylight in front of 50 students who took videos of the incident. Dragan claims that someone named Tony tipped him that Boris, the leader of a rival gang, was stepping into his territory. As expected, Dragan went to confirm the rumor and found Igor, Boris's right-hand man, talking to a drug mule. Somehow, things escalated and Igor ended up burned and bludgeoned to death. Unfortunately, Dragan realized too late that Igor was not taking over his territory just buying a grenade. Given the evidence against Dragan, no lawyer can keep him out of jail. Daimel suggests he give himself up and void Boris's wrath, but Dragan refuses. Instead, he opts to flee and insists that Daimel take him to the lake house and use his kid as a cover-up. Daimel tries to refuse, but Dragan threatens him and asks him to meet in the parking lot. Daimel uses Breiner's lessons to keep calm and decide to go with the flow. Daimel is over his head, but he is trying to be mindful, as Breitner taught him. However, we already know this didn't exactly work out for him. He confesses to killing 6 people in 1 week after finding the violent streak in him. I wonder if Dragan is the first on the list of his victims. There is only so much pushing around a human being can take. The series uses irony and satire to find the comedy in this otherwise dark crime thriller. One can't help but get roped in as Daimel narrates what led him to take the drastic actions he took. He also breaks the fourth wall, making the viewers feel like he is directly addressing him. It is a refreshing approach to lightening the dark theme of the show.